And at this point, I'd like to introduce you to my colleague, Dr. Solochana Naidu. So I'd like to ask Solochana if she would now come on screen and tell you a bit about how to interact with the website for our course.
Hello, welcome to Medical Neuroscience. My name is Solochana Naidu. I'd like to take a few minutes to point out some of the features on our course website which I think will be helpful to you. When you first log on to the class website, you'll be taken to the home page. Here you'll find announcements for the class with the most recent posts at the top. This is primarily how we will communicate with you, so look here regularly for updates. On the left of the home page, you'll find a list of recently released quizzes, exams, and discussions as links to those materials. I suggest you familiarize yourself with the contents of the Start Here page, where you will find a brief description of the class website. You will also find information that's important for students to know at the beginning of the class, including the class philosophy, grading policy, due dates for quizzes and assignments, and a schedule of the topics that will be covered. The Class Tools section contains all the important instructional and assessment material that you will use on a regular basis. Video lectures contain the primary instructional content for this course. Lecture titles describe the topic for the video segment, followed by the duration of the video in parentheses. The video may be streamed by clicking on the title directly. There are a series of icons to the right of the lecture title. Clicking on the down arrow on the far right will download the video. Subtitles for each video are provided in two formats. Additionally, there may be links to supplemental content, such as tutorial notes or external links to other internet content. The discussion forums are the heart of the class experience and allow you to engage with other students, primarily by asking questions and responding to requests for clarification of concepts. We have provided a series of forums, some with additional subforums. So please explore these and post your threads in the appropriate place so that everyone may easily benefit from them. Students may create new threads by selecting the Start New Thread button. Please also take some time to become familiar with the contents of the forum posting policy document before you begin your forum activity. Clinical cases contain profiles of patients including a description of their cluster of symptoms consistent with a particular type and location of nervous system pathology. Each clinical case will be followed by questions which will require you to apply your knowledge of the functional neuroanatomy and neurophysiology of the nervous system. Students will be able to access the graded assessments in the quizzes and exams and peer assessment page. The quizzes and exams contain questions that correspond to the video lectures. Each quiz and exam section contains a blue button labeled Attempt Quiz, which you will click on to start a quiz. You'll also find a due date timeline, an Apply Late Days button, which you can click on to use available late days to extend the deadline for a quiz, a hard deadline date and time, after which the quiz will no longer be available for any credit, a number of attempts tracker, and also the date of your last attempt. Below this is a gray button labeled Show Previous Attempts, which you will click to review every attempt submitted for each quiz by clicking on the blue hyperlink to the right. Peer assessments are assignments that will be graded by fellow students. The peer assessment page has a short general description of the process for peer assessments and a list of all the peer assessments for students to review. The Go To Assignment button to the right of each peer assessment will take you to the specific instructions for each assignment. Tutorial notes are provided by Dr. White to assist you as you learn the material. The tutorial notes may be accessed either through the links on this page or through the icons to the right of the video lectures. The notes are provided in two formats, Microsoft and Adobe PDF. Additional Resources is a collection of optional reference materials and other information that students may find helpful, but is not essential for the successful completion of this course. I'd like to point out that any corrections made to the course materials after the class has started will be listed in the Course Corrections FAQ section. You may also find answers to some of your questions here. About Us has some information about Dr. White, and you may let us know where you are from by pinning your location on the map in About You. We will also post information here as we learn more about you as a group. You may learn more about Coursera and how it works by clicking on Help Articles. And finally, please report any errors you find in the lectures and quizzes, etc. in the course materials errors, and technical problems you may encounter in the Technical Issues Forum. Thank you for watching this overview of the class website. I wish you all an enjoyable and rewarding learning experience.
Well, as I said, it's our intention for the course website to provide everything you need to be successful in medical neuroscience. However, I know some of you want to really maximize what you can get out of this course experience. And one way that you can increase the value of this course and get even more out of it would be if you were to invest in some additional learning resources that will help you along the way. And probably the single best resource I can direct you to is this textbook, which is called Neuroscience, and it's published by Sinauer Associates Incorporated, a publisher here in the United States. You can find this book at their website if you'd like to obtain it. This is the 5th edition of this book, and this is the book that provides our supportive materials that we will be using in all of our video tutorials. You'll see a number of images that are taken from this book that we will be using in the video tutorials that I have to present to you. And if what I have to share might not be as clear as I intend it to be, I hope that you will seek out this text and use it as a companion reader. Of course, some of you may actually prefer to have a real book in your hands rather than relying on videos and digital media. So if that's you, I want you to know that my recommendation is to go out and get a copy of this book. Now, of course, I do have to declare a conflict of interest for you. My name does appear at the bottom of the cover of this book, so I am a co-author and a co-editor along with colleagues here at Duke University and colleagues that are now at different universities. Nevertheless, I think this is a terrific resource, and it's very readable, it's very approachable, and I think that you will get a lot out of the course by going ahead and acquiring a copy of this book and referring to it as you need to supplement what you get from me in our video lessons. Now, there's another fantastic learning resource that I want to commend to you. I will not be suggesting readings from this book, but I want you to know that this book is out there. It's called Neuroanatomy Through Clinical Cases by Dr. Hal Blumenfeld, who's a neurologist at Yale University, and this book is just a fantastic compendium of knowledge about human neuroanatomy and how that knowledge can be applied to studies of clinical neurology. Dr. Blumenfeld has compiled a number of cases from his own practice that illustrate fundamental aspects of the organization of the human nervous system. And I know that you will really enjoy reading through this book and challenging yourself to work through the clinical cases that Dr. Blumenfeld himself confronted in his clinic. This book is also published by Sinauer Associates, and you can find it there at their website as well. One additional resource that we will be referring to throughout the course, and you'll see me use this in my video lessons, is a piece of anatomical software. It's called Sylvius 4, an interactive atlas and visual glossary of human neuroanatomy. Now, this is also my work in addition to my two colleagues, Dr. Mark Williams and Andrew Mace, and the three of us put together this digital atlas of the human brain, and we will be using this especially in our studies of the brain stem and the spinal cord. Now, if you choose to acquire the neuroscience textbook, you'll see that it comes with a copy of this software. If you look on the inside cover, you'll see instructions about how to download this piece of software. You can also acquire this digital atlas of the human brain on your own. It's also sold by Sinauer and Associates as a standalone product. Now, I really don't intend to make very much more of this introductory video about the learning resources because I do want you to know that I'm doing my very best to provide information that is available to you free of any charge via your registration here in this course on this website. Nevertheless, I do think it's helpful to acquire some additional, more durable products that will support your learning, and so now you know what my recommendations will be in this matter. Now, as you will see as you get into the video tutorials, you'll see that in addition to assigned reading from the neuroscience book, and in addition to the video lessons that I give you, there will also be notes that I'm simply giving to you to use as you will in order to support your studying and learning. I only ask that you don't reproduce those notes and you don't distribute them in any way. They are, after all, my intellectual work, and I'm sharing them with you in order to support your learning under our fair use doctrines. So please respect my wishes in that matter and don't distribute them any further. But I do want you to have them so that you can edit, you can annotate, and perhaps you can even correct should you find regions that you would take some issue with me. I'm happy to hear what those areas might be. But be looking for an additional document in the form of a Microsoft Word file or a PDF file that will accompany nearly every single video tutorial that you'll get from me. And now I'd like to turn to your part in medical neuroscience. Well, here comes the hard message that I have to deliver for you on the first day of the course. And that is that I'm asking an awful lot of you. Now, for those of you who've taken other courses in Coursera, you're probably used to hearing from the professor that you only need to devote about 4 to 6 hours a week to be successful in this course. Well, that's just not going to do it in medical neuroscience. You really need to step up your commitment if you intend to follow the plan for successful completion of the course. This is a course that is pitched at a higher level than most of the other courses in the Coursera catalog. I want you to know that. This course is as close as I can make it to a medical neuroscience course that would be taught in the first year of medical school following attainment of a baccalaureate degree and preparation for medical school in the fundamental topics that pertain to biology, and chemistry, and anatomy, and in physiology. If you're not comfortable with your background in that area, then I would encourage you to follow along as best you can. I'm not saying that you should just leave the course now, but what I am saying is that you should understand that you may not have enough background to understand all of the